Welcome back to Donslife.
Welcome to the channel.
Thanks for joining today. Obviously, we have Mrs. Donslife here. She is going to help us install a product I'm very, very excited for. As you all know, we have a Corvette C8 behind me. We've done quite a few cosmetic mods, but no performance mods. This is going to be the first big change for some big sound. We have a brand new active exhaust by MBRP. I can actually spell this one, so that's good news. But Mrs. Donslife has agreed to help me.
I voluntold.
She voluntold. I'm not really sure how it worked, but either way, she's here. I am famous for skipping ahead, thinking I know what I'm doing, and then I miss a critical detail and I have to backtrack a bunch of steps, correct what I didn't do.
So I get to tell them what to do.
So she gets the boss. So we got bossy Mrs. Donslife, and we have cooperative Donslife, or Mr. Donslife. I haven't really worked that out yet, but we'll figure it out. So let's get started.
Let's go.
So this video is in partnership with MBRP. They've sent over one of the first production active compatible exhausts for the C8 that they now make. It's now available. We're going to install it today. Obviously, we got to open it up. Like we said earlier, Mrs. Donslife is going to help with keeping me on track. So I think first things first, we probably have to open it up and make sure everything's there?
Yeah, there should be 12 pieces. No, a lot of pieces.
Okay.
12 different pieces.
I can tell already this is going to go very smooth. Now you can see that I've tampered with the box a little bit. I don't know what it is, but every box I ever get has some random puncture in it. I don't know about you, if it's a courier thing where it's, you know, just kind of something that they have to do, they can't help themselves. Like a kid at Christmas, I tampered with the box and I started opening it because I just wanted a little peek at what was in there. But honestly, I haven't really unpacked it. I have a couple little extra things that they've sent me because we are going to be attending a sponsored show with the help of MBRP. I won't say too much right now, but that's coming up. But let's open it up and see what's in here. Okay, so these are going to be our tips. We're going to take a closer look at all this stuff after we get it unpacked. We got the instructions, which I've already printed off here. We got some clamps. Looks like we got our valve simulators there. Again, we'll open this up as we go. Now we start to get into it. We have a pipe and we have another pipe, and I need more room. So if you're tough like me, you can lift up the box, put it on the ground, and give yourself some more room. We got a nice X pipe here. Ooh-wee. Do you know why they call that an X pipe?
Because it looks like an X.
Yeah, I almost had you on H pipe, didn't I? Wow, look at that. This is solid.
Is that pretty fancy?
Very, very fancy.
This looks very, very complicated for a person like me.
You're gonna get it. By the end of this, you will be installing exhausts on the side.
Mm-hmm.
Well, don't you think we need to do one on your Cadillac?
Yes, 100%. And
you
turbos.
Want that rumble now? 10 turbos? I think it'd be easier to do a supercharger.
Or whatever.
Just something.
Yeah, just something.
More forced induction.
Or just buy me a V.
Well, there's that. All right, Mrs. Donslife, let's make sure everything is here. Walk us through the checklist.
Okay, so we have 2 valve stimulators.
Stimulators?
These things.
Want to read that again?
Oh.
I like stimulation.
Oh, I didn't even know I said it wrong.
You want to take 2 on that?
Yeah, okay, okay. 2 valve stim. I can't.
Isn't she awesome?
I screwed up like the first part. Okay, 2 valve simulators.
Check.
And I know that these are them because they show a picture.
Because they show a picture.
They show
Perfect.
a picture.
They make it easy. I like that.
6 lock nuts. That's these little suckers.
Okay, suckers. Got
Little
'em.
suckers. 4 spring pins. That's these.
Nice.
And 2 drive hubs. That's these, right?
Okay, I think so. You tell me, you got the book.
There should be 2 3-inch clamps, which are these.
Yeah, I think these are the swivel ones because they have a rounded edge to them, so they can hold 2 pipes together. And then this looks like it's a flat 3-inch clamp, says 3-inch right on it there.
Oh, okay, well then there's 2 of those as well.
So those would probably like bind this because it's flat.
And there's,
and then these are round, so they use a swivel. Makes sense.
okay, and then there are 1 driver's side down pipe.
Down pipe.
How do we know which one is which?
I don't know, but I think
We'll
we'll
figure it out. And also a passenger side drive, passenger
those,
side
yeah.
downpipe, and an X assembly, X pipe assembly.
Not an H, we got it.
And then 2 muffler assemblies, 1 for each side of the vehicle.
I want you to do the honors and unbox these carbon fiber tips.
All right, let's see how fancy these are.
Don't break a nail.
I'm good.
Retaining clamp.
Another clamp.
What is this?
You're trusting me to hold these without dropping
I
them?
am. Carbon fiber, here we go.
Ooh, those are
Look at
nice.
those. We got polished 4.5-inch T304 stainless steel. Looks so nice.
Mirror polished.
Mirror polished.
Mirror polished.
Good detail. Look at that. Okay, well, let's open up the rest of them. Let's talk a little bit about the exhaust while Mrs. Donslife does that. So the rest of this is all T304 stainless steel. That means it's not going to rust. It means it's super durable. And this construction is perfect for my type of climate. We're here in Canada, the Canadian winters. We have snow, we have ice, we have salt, we have gravel. Very durable, also made in Canada. You know, as we fit this up into the C8, you'll notice it is a cat-back system. It has the AFM valve simulators, which Mrs. Donslife said were quite stimulating. It also has these brackets here. You'll notice they are for the NPP valves, which is going to allow us to keep our loud and quiet modes depending on the drive mode on the car. Very important though, it only makes sense to buy this version of this exhaust if your Corvette C8 has the NPP system in it, because if you didn't already have the NPP exhaust, there'd be no point to trying to add something your car couldn't control anyway. Mine has the Z51 performance exhaust on it, so I am perfectly compatible with this setup here. Well, it looks like we have everything. We can probably get started with the next steps.
So step 1, jack the rear of the vehicle up and remove the rear wheels.
I'm not going to remove the rear wheels yet. I'm already disobeying.
You said you were going to follow the rules.
But can I get a pass on this one?
I don't know.
How about we try leaving the wheels on?
Okay.
And if I have to take them off, then I will.
Okay.
We already disobeyed the first step. What next?
Remove the 7mm hex head screws and 2 plastic push pins along the lower edge of the rear fascia.
I say fascia, you say fascia. Down here we got 13 screws. We'll get a closer look in a minute. So Mrs. Donslife, I think it's time for you to assist me with the manual labor.
Oh boy.
Let's get this going. What do we need to use? 7mm?
Yeah.
Let's get started. Do you want me to move the creeper? So
I don't want to run over my hair.
Yeah, you did that before. I had to save you.
Okay.
All right, 1. 12 more to go. Now I have underglow on here, but when I put this on, I knew one day I'd be pulling the bumper again. So hopefully I can leave that in place.
We have 13 bolts on the floor.
So next you have a couple of these to pull out. They're these plastic push pins. There's one here, and there's another one over here, right where my screwdriver is tapping. Once it's backed out far enough, easy to pop up. Okay, so these are aftermarket extended mud flaps, but we already have the bolt undone. Now it's just some clips that are pushed in from the side here. But now it should be easy to pull out, and there's a little tab that secures it in the fender liner.
Oh look, a jack. He's doing as he's told.
Just hold on a second. This jack is just to give me a little more space to work here. Of course, the wheel off would allow for that, but we've got 2 torque screws here, and we have a push pin up here somewhere because we need to pull back the fender liner to give us access to some screws that are here and a nut that's way up in this area. I think that we can do this with the jack only. Now, if you have a hoist or something, and you can get both wheels off at the same time, great. I didn't really want to put my car up on jack stands because the jack stands I own are like this high, and they don't really have anything to hold the cup or the jacking puck that's on the bottom of the car. So think ahead before this install. If you need to take the wheels off, have a plan. But I think my plan's gonna work, and I'm stubborn enough to find out. Now we should be able to pull back the fender liner. Oh yeah, lots of access. No problem. Look, wheel's still on. We're going to undo these, I think they're, 7mm hex screws right here. And then way up there, probably a little harder to see, is a 10mm nut.
I can't get in there.
Yeah, I'll probably have to use an extension on a ratchet or something to try and reach that one. But I've had the bumper off before, so this isn't completely foreign to me. We can get it done.
Nice.
I see you're taking a break there. Okay, so this is done, as in the fender liners are taken off. The bolts and nuts in here are taken off. Both sides are done. I didn't actually jack this side up. I was still able to do it by reaching in there. It's a little tighter. There's some hoses on this side, so wheels off is probably easier, which brings me to my next point. There are some connectors for the AFM valves that you want to disconnect here. Because I left the wheels on because I'm stubborn, we're going to tend to them as we work at getting the bumper pulled back. We'll get there. I could lay on the ground and probably disconnect them right now, but that is something that has to be done. But what is the next step?
Remove the trunk liner to gain access to the engine cover. Remove the Torx head screws and remove the engine cover.
Okay, let's open this up. We want to undo all of these, all the way along, right to there. And then this should come off in one big piece. All right, you're getting the one at the angle first.
Look at me go.
You're a pro.
I'm
I'll
going to
take
drop
these
it
from
somewhere.
You. I'll take them.
You don't want me to hold them. They'll be gone. They will be lost.
You need a stool?
Almost.
Look at, she's taking the care not to hit the wing.
I do value my life.
But how many is this? You were supposed to count.
12? I don't know.
We don't really know?
No.
Just get them all. That's the
Do you want me
main
to count the holes?
thing. You could, but I think they get the point. All right, so bumper time. I think upward and outward kind of stuck. Am I missing something here? What's up?
We didn't read the bottom of this, and you got a little far ahead.
That's your job.
Yeah, but
My
you told me to
job
go.
is to get far ahead.
You told me to go to the instructions, but you didn't tell me to read these warnings.
Well, what does it say?
Please read before starting installation and make sure that the system will not interfere with any modifications previously installed or planned. You got too far ahead of yourself.
My underglow got in
You
the way
screwed up.
of taking it. I didn't screw up. It's called a small oversight. So,
It's small.
but we're ready now. This
Should we
come
read
off.
all these? Should we read all these warnings now?
You can read them.
Okay. To you?
No, you can read them to yourself.
Okay.
And then you can tell me what you think in a couple days.
Oh, okay.
But this is a DIY project. Although we're having some fun with it, this really is a DIY project.
Did you try to make sure that all the mating components fit together?
Yeah.
Did you though? No.
We have kids.
Okay, take 2.
Aha.
Like butter, I guess, as they
Now,
say.
ever so gently. And I got to undo this wiring. There we go. Now these can be taken off of the bumper. Give yourself a little more room. There we go. And then the camera. There, it should be it. It's a lot of bumper there.
That is
I'm
a
going
lot.
all the way over to the stand here.
We need to go put some of that cardboard in the recycling.
Probably a 2-person thing, but I don't want you to get too tired.
I didn't come out here to get dirty.
We know. Okay, what's next? I'm guessing.
Okay. Yeah, remove the trunk liner to gain access to the engine cover.
Let's start with taking these off. I've never taken this cover off before. Well, let's just start taking stuff apart.
If all else fails, just go for it.
Based on my assessment, since this just pops out, these would be the next part that would have to be unfastened. The instructions don't necessarily go into this level of detail. Well, there's these, which are holding the bottom of this in. So I have to do those two, and then the rest of these for the other one on that side. These are like those Christmas tree connectors. Yes, those are the ones, boys and girls. Now you have to be really strong for this part.
I think I could have did that. And
So you say, yeah, you're behind the
probably
camera.
not got dirty. Okay, so now you get to remove the engine cover.
You know they make see-through ones of these and special air intakes. Father's Day is
Tomorrow.
tomorrow. Maybe a little too soon. Voila! Hopefully you can see this. This is one of the AFM valve actuators. So I'm going to undo the lock and then pull it off. So that wire is disconnected. And there should be one on the other side. You're gonna have to reach in through the top. Got it. So next I'm thinking we take off the old exhaust?
Yes, remove the M10 flange nuts from the driver's side exhaust.
Start them with this, then we can use a power tool maybe. How many are on this one? 1, 2, just 2.
2 M10s and then 3 M8s on the passenger side.
I don't want to drop it. That's what that looks like. Okay, so those are off. I don't want to cut myself on here.
That's why I am not doing those things, because I would cut my arm off.
I think more because I'd never hear the end of it.
For sure you would.
I'm gonna put a glove on. So on the passenger side, there's 3 of these nuts. To get to the bottom one, the third one, I had to go under the car, get my hand up there and a small ratchet, get it started. And then I was able to use both my hands on this side and work the ratchet back and forth, 1/4 turn at a time.
It was not fun to watch.
But I got it done.
Yes. Disconnect both NPP exhaust valve actuators located in the exhaust tips.
Go on this side, you'll see it. So the AFM's done. These are the NPP valves. Undo the lock, depress the button, pull it out. That's really easy. This heat shield just folds down. You can gain access. Hey, can I guess what to do next?
What do I get if you're wrong?
Well, what don't you get? But I think I have to take off these hangers. So come over here. It's actually quite easy. Just pull that thing right there off of the hanger that it's on. Can you see that back there?
No.
There's a hanger. There's this rubber thing.
Oh yeah.
Isolator, they call it. Just pull it towards you. It's already greased up. Comes off real nice.
Nice.
There. This one you can see better. Can you see that one better? It's that black thing.
Yeah.
Now I should just be able to pull it off here with superhuman strength, which I possess. Just like that.
Nice. The rear isolators from the frame and retain the isolators as they will be reused.
Okay. So I'm going to start them with the ratchet. Exhaust is removed. You know, we could have done these after because there's enough slack there,
Oh, well.
but that's okay. Sometimes you do things harder.
You live, you learn. You get to be He-Man.
Ooh, really? I've seen pictures, but to see it in person, it's pretty bulky.
Is this all of it? Like none of that is going back on?
What's going back on are these NPP actuators. No, sorry, those are the AFMs. These ones are going back on, and probably some of these isolators, and that's it.
Because what you pulled out is a lot different than that.
Well, yeah, that's why we're going louder. This
Okay.
makes it too quiet.
Oh.
That'll make it much louder.
Oh.
Okay, I'm taking my own little break. It's your turn. I need you to take those off
No.
without breaking them,
Oh.
and this one as well. You got it?
No.
My guess is 10 millimeter. That's just a guess.
Good guess. Oops.
Okay, you're breaking it already.
Yeah.
Good thing that's the old one.
No, we have to retain these, don't we?
Yes. You want to use power?
Yeah.
We're going to keep you. We'll put you on the passenger side. Well, thank you so much, young lady. Okay, what's next, boss?
Okay, let's install the passenger side downpipe that you have in your hand using the previously removed M8 flange nuts. Be sure the OEM gasket is in place.
Okay, let's check out the gasket. Bring the camera in here. I can feel the gasket on there. So we're good for the gasket. Now I think we have to go up through here. It's the only way it's gonna happen. This has to connect to the X pipe, so you want that orientation. If you can see, we got a triangle shape there, and then we just line it up.
Just
that.
like so.
Like so.
Look at that.
Now this should be a little easier because the design of the pipes allows me to get this underneath to that hard to reach bolt, at least to get it on most of the way, and then I'll have to torque it up with the ratchet. All right, boss, what's next?
Okay, you're gonna take a 3-inch clamp and install it on the outlet of the passenger side downpipe and install the X pipe assembly.
Okay, this has to face down, I guess, so I can get to it.
Yeah, down and rear
So
facing.
rearward tightening bolt is facing down. Okay, tightening nut. Perfect. And then our X pipe. Here we go. So we're this far, I'm guessing I have to grab the next down pipe, probably feed it on the X pipe, just like that one.
Yep.
And then bolt it up with the flange.
Yep, and make sure that the OEM gasket is in place.
Okay. The gasket on this side is this round piece right here. Now I have to try and fit it up on top here. That's one started. Okay, what's next? These guys?
Yeah, you got to insert those spring pins into that, whatever it's called, drive hub, both of them.
Okay, so I'm not doing this by hand. So I'm going to gently squeeze these and gently tap them in with a hammer. That one's in. I am giving it a bit of a squeeze, but I don't want to squeeze them so hard that they become distorted and don't keep their shape. They're in.
Cool.
I think I got this. This is going to go there with these springs facing up. And then when I put this valve on, this is from the passenger side, I just want to make sure that these notches align with that. So I'm just going to gently start to line it up, line up the bolt holes anyway, and then I'm going to adjust the valve to where this was seated when I took it off, just like that. So if we look underneath, you can see that these fit inside those notches, and now it will control it.
Just like they were meant to be.
So now we'll tighten this down. Do you have something I need?
Here, hon. I think you probably want those.
Yeah, because the old exhaust, this was threaded to attach to. Now we need these locking nuts. So I guess we should do the same thing to the driver's side.
So now you're gonna install the rear isolator.
Done, right here. See, slides right on, slid them off the old ones.
Okay, and then you're gonna install a 3-inch swivel clamp onto the muffler assembly.
Right, so that'll go here with this tightening nut facing down. Now go to the car.
Yeah. Secure the rear isolator with the previously removed bolts, and then you're gonna reconnect the wiring.
Start this up here first. Just plug in the NPP. Now there's not a lot of room behind the ECU here, so just be careful. Gotta lock it. It's locked, but I have to kind of pull this back. See how I'm pulling that?
Yeah.
As I lift this into place, and then align my isolator back here. It's partway on. Not too hard. There, it's on. I'm doing the front isolator first, and then I'm going to lift this up after I plug this bad boy in. Locked. Guessing this heat shielding would go kind of under it. Keep the wire protected anyway. Guess we'll see. Okay.
That one was so much easier.
Okay, these are next, I'm guessing, because this is all I have left.
Yep, the valve simulators.
Not stimulators.
Not stimulators.
Although they'll be getting a signal to stimulate the AFM valves, which this will simulate. So when AFM kicks in, which means going to 4-cylinder, the factory exhaust has these valves that would close, but there's a little hole in it, or holes, that allow for a certain amount of back pressure just to clean up the sound a bit, because V4 on a big exhaust doesn't sound that great when it's intended for a V8. But these are going to simulate like that system's still in place, trick the computer, and then we're not going to have that AFM valve system anymore. I don't know what it's going to sound like with this exhaust. I'm sure they accounted for that, but that's what these are for, so we don't get a check engine light, and we're still going to use the NPP valves, so we can still have a quiet mode and a much louder mode. So here's one here. I don't know if you can see the harness there. Locked. And then we want to tuck it back up here, out of the way. I'm going to use a cable tie because I don't want it dropping down and getting by the exhaust. Let me get a cable tie and put it up there. I don't really see any other way to attach it. We're in the final stretch, aren't we, Mrs. Donslife?
Yes.
All right, thankfully. So we're just gonna tighten these up on top of the X-pipe more to make it secure. It's a little bit tight right now, but just so we can still make, minor movements if we need to. But we're gonna tighten that up, and then we're gonna put the bumper back on, make sure we plug in all of our wires. Because you see me undo them all, we just do everything in reverse order. And then we're going to tighten these up last. We should still be able to access them from underneath the car. And then that way we can fine tune the tip alignment. So we'll put the tips on and then we'll decide what they're going to look like when it comes to how far they'll stick out and that type of thing. All right, it is all put back together. We got the tips on. In case you're wondering how I space them out so expertly, I use this 10mm socket. I did the outside ones first, and all I did was I lined it up so it kind of fit perfectly above the last 3 letters. And then I did that on this side, see, just like that. And then I did that here, and then I put this one on here. So they're fully aligned, so they stick out the same distance. This thing buttoned up pretty much perfectly. I'm very, very happy with how that turned out. And I did the outside ones first so I could get a ratchet to tighten them there. And then I did the inside one second because you can reach a ratchet up here and you can tighten it from the side up there. Don't worry, I'm not going to cold start it now before you get to hear some footage I recorded this morning where I actually started the vehicle in touring with the valves closed. I also did a comparison cold start with the valves open in my mode. We're going to do all of that now. I'm going to open the garage door, have the same conditions, and I'm even going to use the same microphone because this one has more range. And I'll set up the camera and we'll record it exactly the same. So I'll play the befores and the afters. Scared?
I'm scared. I'm the one sitting behind it. I'm probably...
Well, I just got back from a bit of a shakedown and all I can say is, wow. We're gonna show you some more footage shortly, but it's getting a little bit late out. I don't want to disturb the neighbors and be that guy, even though I'm probably already that guy. But Mrs. Don's you were there when I did the cold start. What did you think?
It was loud and my bones were rattling.
So you notice a difference?
Yeah.
I mean, you've heard a cold start hundreds of times in here. Well, dozens. And it was
hundreds,
noticeably
I'm
louder.
sure.
Yeah, so we're gonna pick this up tomorrow with more footage. Well, first thing I'll say is microphones do not do it justice. I had 3 different cameras, 3 different microphones, and all of them sound kind of distorted or out of range on all of the playback. So sorry, but filming exhaust videos, especially with aggressive exhaust, which this definitely is just tough to do. So that being said, it is what it is, but we have no check engine light. When we're in touring mode with the valves closed, it's very similar to stock, which is exactly what I wanted. I need that in my neighborhood so I don't get kicked out. We don't have an HOA, but I also want to not be,
That guy.
That guy, exactly. With AFM, they must have, tuned it out and did some testing, because when it goes into 4-cylinder mode, you can hear it a little bit, but it's actually, I think, better than, what the factory exhaust was doing when it came to that. Either way, I'm very happy. I'm very excited to keep this big smile on my face all summer with this product and for hopefully years to come. But I do know this isn't all about me, it's also about you. So thank you for helping me install the exhaust. Didn't she do a good job? She was keeping me on point. I bent the rules sometimes. She got me back in line, which she does mostly with life.
Exactly.
So that's good. But I do know you're feeling what?
A little left out.
Why is that?
I think the Escalade might need something.
Yeah, we got the big exhaust on the AT4. We got the bigger exhaust on the Corvette. And now the Cadillac just seems...
I'm just really little and I like to sound a little meaner.
It's uncomfortably quiet in there now, comparatively. So on that note, if you want more information about MBRP and what they have to offer for your vehicle, I'll leave a link in the video description below. If you like today's video,
please hit the like button.
Please consider subscribing.
And we'll talk to you next time.
Oh, you really hit the camera.
So I'm not
I said you could touch it, not knock it over.